All across the country, Republican legislatures have responded to their inability to win elections by trying to make it so elections don't count for anything. And mostly they've succeeded in states where they control state government. They've been cracking down on mail-in voting, voting hours, all sorts of things like that. But not everywhere have they seen such success, at least not yet. In Texas, they had one of the most bonkers anti-democratic bills, and for now, the Democrats, I'm reading, fought back. That can't be right. We're gonna have to, Sophie, can you fact check that? And won? What? In this economy? No, they kind of did. For now, after a lengthy debate in the state House of Representatives, in which Democrats raised numerous objections, staged lengthy question and answer sessions, and leveraged procedural maneuvers. That's sexiest of terms, leveraging procedural maneuvers. Democrats departed from the chamber, leaving it 14 members short of the required 100-member quorum to continue business. Without the requisite number of legislators, the Speaker of the State House adjourned the session around 11 p.m. local time, effectively killing the bill for this legislative session. That flight from the chamber was sparked by State Representative Chris Turner, the party's caucus chair in the House, who sent a text message to members at 10:35 p.m. local time. Members, take your key and leave the chamber discreetly. Do not go to the gallery, leave the building. I feel like I'm getting like a little advanced view of like the next season of Game of Thrones, all the political machinations. So they left, they basically left, and then you can't pass the bill. So why did they have to do all this? Well, the measure would have made mail-in voting more difficult by requiring voters to supply more information, prohibiting local elections officials from sending out absentee ballot applications to anyone who has not requested one, or from working with get out the vote groups that encourage Texans to vote by mail. It would have also prohibited the after hours and drive-through options that voting rights advocates said helped Black and Latino voters in the Houston area back in the 2020 election. It would have required all weekday early voting to take place between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m., prohibiting Houston from again offering 24-hour early voting opportunity. And it would have barred early voting on Sundays before 1 p.m., which effectively limits the souls to the polls after church get out the vote efforts that are popular among Black churches. And Francesca, there's a lot about this that is nonsense, but you can't vote before 1 p.m. on Sunday seems so hyper targeted to stop Black Christians from organizing immediately after church that they're the religious party, right? It's us godless atheists who are always cracking down on Christianity and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it is so racist from that angle, knowing that, a lot of the get out the vote efforts in Texas with the Black community, has focuses around, going out after church. I mean, they might as well be like, and if you're wearing a hat that is higher than 2 inches, no, sorry, you can't vote. But also, and like all of these voter suppression bills, yes, they disproportionately target people of color for sure, but they also target like white Texans who also go vote after church. You know what I mean? Like that is a thing as well. And they, and Republicans know this. They know that mail-in, like ending or restricting mail-in voting also disproportionately affects older folks who might be more conservative. They don't care. They're like, no, we can see the thing is, we can get by on minority rule, and we like that.
Yeah, they've apparently decided that. I mean, every voter suppression effort, basically, that the Republicans ever pursue will hurt some Republicans, and Republican voters are seemingly okay with that, either because of ignorance or because they get at the end of the day, them ruling is more important than their party giving a damn about them voting. But they've apparently decided that white conservative Texans vote at predictable levels. It's America, so the levels are still pathetic, but they do vote. Other voters vote at lower levels. There's a little bit more apathy, perhaps because the system does stuff like this to them constantly. And so they need a little bit more activism, effort, get out the vote, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, there's gonna be some white Christians that probably would have benefited from easier voting. There's definitely older people that would have loved having their mail-in ballot sent to them without them having to jump through bureaucratic hoops. But you live in Texas, so screw you. That's basically how your party thinks about you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go back to how the bill is scary and how it's probably gonna pass. But Francesca, the Democrats stopped it briefly. So what do you say to that?
I mean, it's incredible, right? Like to see them actually working together. There's like, who's the Joe Manchin of the Texas state legislature who's like, no, I don't think so. We gotta restore dignity. Like who? Apparently there isn't one, and like it's like, let me go on ABC News to talk about how we need to restore. Okay, let me go on MSNBC. Let me go on CNN. Like no, it is nice to see Democrats working together. And if not for this, then you gotta ask yourself for what? We're talking about a completely anti-democratic measure that is taking us backwards in time when it comes to voting rights. This is the foundation of democracy, voting, and it worked pretty damn well in 2020 in terms of turnout, right? I mean, you can talk about who won, but also talking about the massive turnout, which again, because we're not stupid, we link those two things, and Republicans aren't either. They know that turnout means they're gonna be losing. But it is nice to see there's no Kristen Sinema who's like, I'm gonna curtsy and no to this. So you hope it continues, and also you gotta look at when Republicans have walked out of state legislatures, like Oregon, I think their Republican state legislature has walked out like 3 times now. One over, minimal restrictions to firearms, another over COVID safety precautions. They do it all the time. They have like a meeting spot where they go and are just like, we're upholding like we're stopping the process here because phooey. And they do it over terrible things. So it's nice to see it's nice to see Democrats utilizing the tools that Republicans always utilize, but for good.
Yeah, and it would be great to see some of those senators that you referenced, I don't know, to be inspired perhaps a little bit like this. Like, they're doing every tactic they can in Texas to hold this off. And like Manchin's like, I bet I can find some Republicans that'll do something bipartisan-y with me. And Kristen Sinema can't even show up for the vote to establish the January 6th commission. Anyway.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.